You are now listening to the Growing and Becoming podcast.
Hello, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, friends of the GB pod. Welcome back to another episode of your favorite podcast. If you are new here, my name is Oname, and I am your host. You will be listening to me for the next half an hour, hopefully, not more than that. My name is Oname, and I'm just a girl doing this podcast from the comfort of her home, in a city far away, in a land far away. But you would enjoy the podcasts. Trust me, believe in me. Well, thank you. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for listening. And to all my OGs, man, I love you. I see you and I love you. Big ups to you guys. You've been fantastic. Always listening to the episodes, giving me a reason to come back again and again. I really appreciate it. God bless you. So, today's episode, let me tell you my initial thoughts. I was actually supposed to do an episode on existential crisis. I couldn't pronounce that word for a fair bit, but I got it, existential crisis. Because, oh God, 2024 has really taken a toll on me. Oh God, 2024 has not been easy. It's funny because it also hasn't been difficult. Like, I cannot point to the things that are like so gravely difficult or challenging. It's just been hard in ways that I can't explain right now, and I don't want to go into it. But yeah, 2024, you've come, you've done your time. I'm happy for you to please leave. I'm so looking forward to Christmas. I'm done. Like, this is me just saying, the rest of you are in October or whatever month it is right now. Personally, my brain is in December. I've already started watching Christmas movies. That's how far gone I am. I'm already thinking of Christmas decors. I cannot be stressed. So yeah, 2024, thank you for the stress that you brought into my life. It's been good and I'm over it. But yeah, I decided not to do the episode or not to talk about existential crisis. We probably talk about all that some other time. I just want to be grateful for life today. I really want to thank God for the relationships that I have randomly stumbled into, and God has used those people to really touch me. One thing that 2024 has really brought to my life is the gift of acquaintanceships. Or is it acquaintances? Acquaintances, whatever. I love the acquaintances that I have. Those people who are new to your life, they're not yet there in terms of a friendship, but you like them, they like you. There's mutual love, mutual care, mutual attention, mutual respect, mutual honor, blah, blah, blah. They're wonderful people who have been good to you and you've been good to them as well. Those are the kind of people I'm referring to right now. Because I'm physically distant from most of my friends, I've had to open up my heart, open up my space, to everybody. I mean, I've always been that person anyways. I've never been closed off to relationships. I am always happy to meet people and get to know them. The other thing that I'm grateful for actually is the grace to do good to people, irrespective of who they are, where they're coming from, how they treat you, whatever it may be. This year has really taught me to show love to people and to live peaceably with all men. I mean, I used to be the kind of person that subconsciously I take on other people's enemies. So if someone has a problem with somebody else, I have a problem with the person automatically. You might judge me. Like I said, I used to be. I'm no longer that person. And guys, we're all growing and becoming. Even me, I have things that I'm still working on. So don't judge. I used to be that person, but I guess I outgrew it. And also the help of the Spirit, like I said, is a grace. But this year, I noticed it even more that, wow, there are so many opportunities for me to just blacklist people or stop talking to people or distance myself from them or be wary of them, but I didn't. I still showed up to them. I still met them with love, with kindness, with everything. I really put my best foot forward in terms of my relationship with people this year. I see it and I pat myself on the back because honestly, it's not easy. It's actually not easy to relate with people. You know it, I know it. Especially when sometimes they're not even deserving of it. But just being able to look at people and look at them or see them through the lens of God, the lens of Christ. How does God see them? Cares for them. He sees them as people precious enough to die for. And so that's how I see everybody. And I thank I thank God for that grace to be kind and compassionate and loving and genuine with people, because those acquaintanceships that I took seriously, or those people that, I just showed care and honor to, notwithstanding anything or not wanting anything in return, God has used those people to show me favor in mighty ways. Now, I'm not saying that you should go about trying to be good to people because, there might be a perceived benefits. No, just be good to people, full stop. Be kind, be loving, be empathetic, show up for people, do things for them, regardless of anything. So I'm just grateful for such people because, especially in this phase of my life where, I'm dealing with existential crisis, God has used these people to make me feel seen, make me feel loved, make me feel valued. Today, someone randomly sent me a text message just telling me how great I am and how much light and how thankful she is for all the light I bring into the world. And I was just like, wow, really, this is touching. I mean, I know that I'm a sweet girl, but it's different when someone just takes time out of their day to send you messages like that. And it's not the first time I'm receiving such. I've received such messages more this year than I did last year. So for me, it's like in the phase of my life where I feel small, where I feel like my light isn't shining as bright as I want it to be, or I'm not doing things in the magnitude or capacity that I'm used to, I am still leaving an impact. I'm still blessing people's lives in my own way. I'm still making people feel good enough for them to come back and leave messages like that or do kind things for me, do wonderful things for me. Someone just recently said she's gonna buy me a dress. I'm what? I didn't say anywhere or tell anybody anything about wanting a dress. Interestingly, I do. I've actually been desiring and actively searching to buy a boo-boo. God knows. God is the only person who knows that. Even I've not really been as vocal about it to my husband. I'd probably mention it like once, but that's it. But God is the only person that knows how much I desired to get specific boo-boos. And for someone to just see me on a random day, and that's the first thing they're saying to me, like, oh, I'm getting you a boo-boo. What? And, oh my God. Or is it the people who buy me food? How can my husband just show up to the house on Wednesday with a big, hot pack of shawarma? Friends, I don't know what to say, man. God has really been so intentional with how he's showing me love through the people that I least expect. There's an expectation when it's your friends, Oh, my friend knows that I like this. My friend is most likely going to be the one to do that for me. But no, God has been using people that are still relatively new in my life of some sort, and they are loving me hard. They are loving and caring for me in major ways. And so rather than feel bad about the fact that I'm not the person I used to be, or like I'm dealing with all these life changes and I feel like, oh, I've been small and I've just been a bit shrunken. God is reminding me that he would have me be here. And even where I am, people see me and value me so dearly. Honestly, it's humbling. So today, rather than bask in my worries or whatever, I just want to say thank you to God for surrounding me with such amazing people. I want to thank God for the grace to be present in their lives and for the privilege also to have them present in mine. I'm grateful to everybody that has shown me care and love and attention and different acts of service, acts of kindness, words of affirmation. Thank you to everybody that has poured into me this year. Hello, you've come this far in the episode, and that means that you love it. So please hit the follow button and don't forget to rate the podcast. All right, then, back to the episode. Anyways, friends of the podcast, I have done you guys a huge disservice. Remember when I started Sticky Situation, which was supposed to be a segment of the podcast where I talk about or unravel people's relationship dilemmas? I haven't done that in a while. That's my bad. Well, you guys haven't really been sending in your dilemmas, but I've been sitting on 2 dilemmas that I hope to talk about today. Well, I can only talk about one today and probably talk about the other one on another episode. But yeah, I'm really sorry. Thank you for sharing your sticky situations. I'm not really feeling the name. So let's just stick to dilemma. Let's not complicate life. But thank you for sharing your stories. We're going to start with the first story today. Okay, so this one says, "Hi, Onome. I really enjoy your podcast. I've recommended it to a lot of my friends and we all love it and love you." I love you too. Thank you. That's a very good fan right there. Thank you, my dear listener, for recommending this podcast. It really means a lot to me. God bless you. Okay, so my dilemma is about my flatmate who's currently talking to a guy who's a serious womanizer. I don't like where this story is going, but okay, we move. I know this because I attend the same church as him, and unfortunately, I've been hearing some not so nice things about his relationships with girls in church. My flatmate and I have a pretty close relationship, and I don't want to risk ruining. Oh my Lord, I have been struggling to pronounce words today. Okay. And I don't want to risk ruining it over some random guy. How do you advise I go about this? Do I tell her that he's not a good fit for her, or should I just let her figure it out eventually? That's an interesting story. Very good one, actually. And I'm really keen on hearing what others have to say. So I would share this on Instagram for you all to leave your comments. If you're listening on Spotify, you can leave a comment there's a comments section on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and on YouTube as well. So please leave your comments. What should she do? In the meantime, I'll go first. So your flatmate is dating a guy they're just talking. They're not dating. So your flatmate is talking to a guy who's a notorious womanizer. And you know this because you attend the same church as him. I'm assuming that your flatmate does not attend your church. Or maybe she does. I don't know. Whatever the case may be. I mean, I don't know how deep your relationship with your flatmate runs. I think that's a good place to start. One thing you've said here is that you're pretty close. Like you and your flatmate have a pretty close relationship. For me, that's what that means is, you're good. You're good. It's like it's a good relationship. Might not be like deep, but it's good. It's in a good place, and you don't want to risk spoiling that relationship by telling her to ditch this guy because he's not a good fit. I mean, your heart is in the right place. I mean, judging from what you've said, your heart is in the right place, but then you really need to be tactful. Was it tactical? What's the word? You need to apply a lot of wisdom to this situation because you don't want to ruin your relationship with your friend. And I'm guessing that you are absolutely sure that this man is a womanizer. Anyway, to be honest, yeah, I don't think if a man is not a womanizer, he wouldn't be labeled as such by, lots of girls. Because from what you're saying, he has a reputation based off his relationship with girls in church. And that is problematic. It's a red flag. Should you tell her? I'm not the one that will tell you. I'm not the one that will tell you whether to tell her or not. If I were the one, gosh, looking back at all my flatmates, would I have told them? Oh, my days, it's hard. It's actually hard. I think for me, just going back to my earlier points about being wise with how you approach it. You're not just gonna walk up to her and be like, "Oh, who's that guy you're talking to? He's a womanizer. I hope you know you can do better than that. You're too good for him. Don't be foolish or don't be stupid." You know how sometimes we just don't know how to say things, and how you say something is just as important as what you say. So if not if you go to church, so you're a Christian, first things first, pray for the girl. Pray for the girl then, because it's not a straightforward situation. You people are good. You're flatmates. You are not her sister. You're not her blood relation. You're not her best friend. Your relationship might not be at the point where you have the liberty or the permission to be giving her relationship advice. So tread carefully is what I would say. You can just try to be intentional. Try to be more intentional with your friendship with her right now. Get to know her, what she's up to. Be interested in that relationship. Like, ask about the guy, ask how they're doing, ask what they're up to, blah, 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 blah. Engage her in conversations. Ask her what she knows about him, how much information she has found out about him. If she's willing to, come to your church once in a while, so that she can see him in his element. You can just be smooth and easy with it. They're still talking. They're not married. So we can always, the relationship will scatter if it's meant to scatter. Right. So just be delicate, be sensitive, and be sensible about how you go about it. Pray for her. Just stay involved. Be interested. Let her trust you enough to share things with you, so that at any point, if things go bad, you can always be there for her. Truthfully, each and every one of us will make mistakes in life when it comes to relationships, whether it's friendships or whatever. We will make mistakes. Sometimes we'll get it wrong, and some people just have to learn from experience, right? Some people, we can actually save them from making silly decisions, which is why I'm always an advocate for people having accountability. So your flatmate, is she somebody of accountability? Is there anyone that knows about her relationship with said young man? Aside you, of course, maybe you as well, like, has she given you the privilege of access to her in that way, where you can give an opinion on her relationships? So accountability is really keen. You could also suggest it to her if she doesn't have someone that she's accountable to at the moment. She needs to get one, whether it's her pastor, or you could even hint it and be like, "Oh, I know you're talking to this guy. He's in my church. Oh, my pastors are so cool. Are they aware that you guys are talking?" Just try to get into her head in that way, and just bring it up and just be like, "Oh, my pastors are really nice and respectful and very loving people. They always give advice to anyone who's talking or dating or even married. So you might want to come around or suggest it to him to bring it up to the pastor, so that you guys know where you are at and where this relationship is going, blah, 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 blah." So you could say that, you could speak along those lines. I think it's really important that we recognize that this person is an adult and she's capable of making sound decisions. She's also capable of making wrong decisions. We all are. So we will not make her feel a certain way, like, "Oh, didn't you see the signs?" Blah, 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 blah. And also you as well, don't beat yourself up, because I know you know certain things, but sometimes it's not in our place to do the telling. We can guide, we can try our best to protect with the limited information that she has given to you. You can do that. Or, oh gosh, womanizers. I don't like guys who do this. And it makes me wonder, why? Why do men do that? Why do people who just take advantage? You want to eat your cake and have it. You're talking to this girl, you're talking to another girl at the same time. Are you a madman? What is your problem? Rest in Jesus' name. Like, find somebody, talk to them, and be on your way. If it doesn't work out, if it works out, date them. I saw someone say something one time online and I was like, what is this nonsense statement? Because I think someone was of the opinion that, as a guy, like, if you want to talk to a lady, just talk to one person at a time. Don't talk to multiple people at a time. And then one guy commented saying, if you do that, then they'll say you are a time waster, blah, blah, blah. They'll call you names. Huh? Who's going to call you a time waster because you were talking to them and you realize, okay, this is not what I want, and you excuse yourself? And let me be real. Even if they call you a time waster, and so, are you going to stop doing the right thing because of what someone else has said? Do the right thing. Talk to one person at a time. If it doesn't work, end it. Like, let there be a clear end to whatever that was. It's selfish of you to say that you want to talk to multiple people at the same time, to weigh your options, then you choose one. So I ask you one question. What's going to happen to the other people whose hopes you've raised? And I don't want to hear this nonsense talk about, I didn't ask them out. If I don't ask you out, then we're nothing. I can actually use slippers to knock your head. Don't ever say that. It's wickedness. You know what you're doing. You're not a child. You're not a baby. This is not secondary school. You are an adult. You are collecting relationship benefits from multiple people with knowing full well that you will not commit. It's the same thing with friendship. If you don't want to be friends with somebody, my darling, carry your bad vibes and go. Don't come into somebody's life, make them feel special, make them feel loved, only for you to drop them and go. It is wicked. People have emotions. You need to be empathetic enough to treat them right, respect their feelings. And I just pray that, the person, for whoever sends, or whoever the girl is in this dilemma, I pray that your eyes are open to see if the man that you are with has a chronic woman problem. Sometimes you don't know. You guys, I've fallen victim. Hey. Mine was even bad. I traveled across the country. To go and visit this person. My Father in heaven. And I thank God that at the time I had, a friend who lived in the country, so I could stay with her and everything. So that was like my reality check. But only for me to find out that this man had a whole girlfriend, and he was seeing me at the same time. Madam, like, when did you have time to talk to me and this person? It shocks me because this guy was present. When I tell you that he was an available guy, he was available. There was never a time I felt like I did not get attention. So it was just mind-blowing. Every time I think of the fact that, wow, this person was doing this on multiple fronts and also working a 9 to 5. How are you doing it? If you've seen this movie on Netflix, The Other Woman, God, just imagine me. But not that one was, disgusting. That was extreme. But imagine a man who is married and he's actively seeing another woman. And this man as well has a serious womanizing problems, even though he has a whole other side chick that he has sold this fantasy to, and she's really thinking that, they're probably going to get married or whatever. Meanwhile, he has a whole wife. That's what happened to me. The man had a whole girlfriend. And me, I was just there. I was like, wow. Oh, sorry, guys. I forgot to tell you the juicy part of this gist. The babe found me on Instagram. She found me on Instagram and she messaged me and she was like, oh, I know you're seeing this guy. I know he's fucking seeing you, but just know that he's lying to you. Blah, 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 blah. And then she started sending me screenshots of how she's been questioning him about me. So she was aware that the man she was aware that the man had this chronic womanizing problem, but she stayed. Women like that always shock me as well, because what do you mean you stayed? But cool, right? She sends me all these messages and how he'll be like, what's he doing with a Nigerian girl? Like, he'll never be with a Nigerian girl. How can she even think that, there's anything going on, that I was his cousin? I don't remember what he said I was. I don't remember, but do you know that he Till I left that country, he begged. He begged me. He begged to see me. He said it was all a lie. She's crazy. Nah, that is wild. That's actually wild. Anyways, girl, wishing you all the best with your flatmates. Do everything I said. To be honest, just like the girl in this story, she knew her man had a womanizing problem and she chose to stay. Your flatmates can very much be such a girl. And you are right. You don't want to ruin that friendship. But I'm also conscious of the fact that, you can't see someone who's getting themselves into something terrible and you don't do anything drastic to save them. It's a talking stage. Chances are it might not work out. Give her the benefit of doubt that she will make the right call. Just be there as a friend. Men like that also tend to be control freaks. They tend to be very paranoid because they know what they do. So they tend to keep their women in a bottle, in a cage or a box. Sometimes they even ice out their own friends because this man is so controlling of their time, blah, blah, blah. So you need to be very intentional about being there for your flatmates. Be there for her. Be invested in her life. Show care and attention to her. Just do what you have to do. Pray. Ultimately, pray about it because what your words cannot fix, the Holy Spirit can sort it out. Sometimes it might not even be you that God will use to scatter the matter. See how God saved me. How did I find out? The babe herself messaged me on Instagram. How she found me? No idea. But sometimes God can use somebody else to save her if she's getting in too deep. Or just pray that, God, if it's not for her, let it end. And also, both of you pray together as flatmates or share sermons with one another, share podcast episodes with one another, and allow another person's voice. Because there's this thing about overfamiliarity. Some people don't honor the wise counsel that they have. When you step out there, other people are valuing your insights and your wisdom. So chances are she might not listen to you. Just pray for her. Let your love lead and let your love be expressed in the place of prayer. Wishing you all the best and wishing her all the best as well. Ladies and gentlemen, I have come to the end of this episode. I'm tired, I'm thirsty, and I need to rest. Thank you for sticking with me. Thank you for riding with me. I'm wishing you a lovely rest of your week. Stay blessed. And remember to count your blessings this week if you are in a place where you feel like things are not clear, things are not working out, or you're supposed to be doing bigger things, but it feels like you're still so small, whatever. This is my encouragement to you. You are loved. You are valued. You are listening to my podcast. I value you. I value you, die. So the world is blessed and lucky to have you. Keep going. Know that you can still do great things even from a small place. Until we see again in 2 weeks' time, I remain your girl, Ononzi. Bye-bye.